I made a fake dating profile to DM my crush. That sentence exists in the timeline now, so hi, my name is Liv, and yes, this escalated quickly. In my defense, it felt like an experiment, not a full-blown identity crisis. Also, curiosity and a very bored Thursday night are terrible co-conspirators. Let me explain how a petty, harmless test turned into 7 days of lies, an accidental co-conspirator, and a public reveal that I would rather forget, but will absolutely tell you about anyway. Hook. Ridiculous statement. Then, context. So yes, I catfished my own crush. Why did that feel reasonable? Because he was this impossibly chill barista / gig economy poet type who liked cryptic captions and posted 3 vague sunset photos a month. He was a puzzle, and I'm the kind of person who will shake a jigsaw box to see if a missing piece shows up. I wanted to know, would he bite if someone mysterious slid into his DMs? Ego, entertainment, and the exact wrong kind of boredom were the stakes here. Also, my friend group would later rate this as peak Liv energy. Section 1, Setup, the Plan, and the Flirtation. I created Avery, gender neutral, annoyingly interesting, and somehow too photogenic for someone who only exists in my head. The profile photos were a ridiculous collage. 1 blurry hiking shot I stole from royalty-free stock, 1 artsy black and white espresso cup picture, and a deliberately mysterious silhouette. Bio, 2 lines. Collector of mediocre puns, coffee is life, sarcasm is survival. Peak human mystery, honestly. I remember typing the first message like an author refuses to write a bad opening line. Hey, your sunset photo looks like a good place to lose my keys. Do you mind checking? It was stupid, and it landed. He replied with something very charmingly indifferent. Depends. Are your keys vintage or just emotionally unavailable? I laughed out loud at 2 a.m. and then kept going. I escalated in tone and absurdity because the dopamine hit of being a mystery is a very specific drug. I reenact a couple of actual DM vibes here. Not verbatim, but close enough so you get the energy. Me as Avery. Vintage, probably fancier than me. Crush. Then let's both be endangered antiques and grab a coffee. And suddenly a text thread existed where I was what I wasn't, and he was real. The thrill of the flirtation was intoxicating, like stubbing your toe on a step you knew was there, but experiencing the pain anyway because you didn't look. Section 2, Complications and Group Chat Chaos. Enter my best friend, who I will call Maya because she deserves a name that sounds like a rom-com side character. Maya saw the thread on my phone while I was strategically typing and then executed the most dramatic eyebrow raise of her life. She could not let this be just a Liv thing. Within an hour, she was invested, less as a partner in mischief and more like a jealous director. She demanded photos, coached my responses, and then made a choice. She messaged him from her own account, pretending to be someone who knew Avery, just to stir the pot. Immediately, the lie multiplied. I was texting as Avery, reading Maya's texts about Avery, and trying to maintain plausible deniability while also sending memes to myself to feel less guilty. I will admit now that the group chat became a live reality show. Dramatic screenshots, over-dramatic polls about whether I should reveal myself, and a ridiculous spreadsheet with exit strategies ranked by humiliation level. Spoiler, I should have listened to strategy 1. Don't do the thing. But instead, I agreed to a casual meetup because I am terrible at boundaries and also apparently love panic. Section 3. The confrontation, reveal, and aftermath. So the meetup was set. Coffee, which in our world means a public place with witnesses and moral ground. I showed up wearing something that said, I am not a catfish, but probably read as mildly suspicious. I had a plan, which is generous to call it a plan. The plan hinged on Maya creating an excuse to delay, me improvising as Avery for 5 minutes, then pulling the Band-Aid off in a dramatic, charming way. That did not happen. He walked in, looked exactly like his photos, less filtered, more human, and suddenly my flirty text persona felt like a costume I couldn't remove. At one point, I actually said aloud, I'm Avery, because my brain thought honesty in the present tense would solve all prior sins. He blinked and asked, Wait, are you joking? I panicked and produced the worst excuse. I thought you liked being mysterious, so I tried to be mysterious back. It was both a terrible explanation and technically true in the least helpful way. He laughed.
not unkindly, but with a distance that stung. And then Maya intervened, admitting everything like a spectator barging into an improv show. The fallout was immediate. Awkward small talk, a very civil we should be honest moment, and then someone suggested we all get pastries like nothing catastrophic had happened. The truth landed not as a grand reveal, but as an uncomfortable lesson in how small deceptions magnify when other people get involved.
Recap and hot take. Here's the takeaway, and I say this both as someone who made the mistake and as someone who will remind you not to try it. Digital sleuthing and identity games feel like control, but are mostly just theater. They make you feel clever for a minute and dumb for a week. My hot take? Curiosity is not an excuse, and if you're tempted to manufacture a story to test someone's interest, you're testing the wrong thing. The ethics are messy, people get hurt, and you end up apologizing to pastries. Also, full disclosure, he and I didn't become dramatic frenemies or star in a sitcom. We had a few real conversations after that. They were awkward, and then life carried both of us on separate, slightly less mysterious paths. If you want to laugh at my bad choices, fine. If you want a rule to take away, honesty is boring but less complicated. Please don't catfish people for sport. If you must do something petty, maybe buy yourself a book instead. If this episode made you giggle, cringe, or reconsider your own digital shenanigans, do me a favor. Leave a review wherever you get your podcasts and tell me your most ridiculous dating experiment. I want the receipts. Screenshots not required, but the story obviously helps fuel the chaos. Your reviews help other people find the show and keep me from making even more mistakes alone in my apartment. So hit that rating, leave a comment, and maybe mention if I've officially crossed into legend or cautionary tale. I'm Liv, your emotionally exhausted, chronically online host, and every week we talk about life, relationships, internet chaos, bad decisions, awkward moments, and all the things that spiral way faster than they should. If today's episode made you laugh, question humanity, or feel slightly better about your own life choices, then my job here is officially done. Stay chaotic.